Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and today we'll be talking about the High Elves because the Arcane Journal has gone on to pre-order. A big thank you to our friends at Games Workshop for the early access to the book and some Alarian Reavers which I'll be showcasing a little bit later today. There's quite a lot to talk about. This book is quite interesting because, I wasn't really expecting a Chracian Warhost. The Sea Guard, on the other hand, I was kind of expecting because a lot of us are waiting for that for Total War, and, it's iconic, right? It's from the Storm of Chaos, just kind of updated. So let's just jump right in and talk about all the new stuff in the Arcane Journal for the High Elves. Okay, so we're going to talk about the Chracian Warhost first, and obviously we're going to talk about its roster. We're going to start off with the characters here, 50% as per usual, 0 to 1 High Elf Princes or Archmages per 1,000 points, 0 to 1 Chracian Chieftains or Stormweavers per 1,000 points, and as many High Elf Nobles as you wish. It's actually kind of interesting that the Stormweavers are attached to this list. I wasn't really expecting that. Now, core, it's 33% of your points must be spent on core, where you can have as many Elven Spearmen, Elven Archers, and Chracian Woodsmen as you wish. And not only that, but 0 to 1 White Lions or Chrace per 1,000 points. For special, up to 50% of your points may be spent on that, and that's as many White Lions of Chrace as you want, and Lion Chariots of Chrace. There's also 0 to 1 War Lions per 1,000 points. Those of you who have actually played with the High Elves in Total War Warhammer will remember the War Lions. Yep, that's become a unit now, and we'll be talking about their stats a little bit later on. Now, for rare, it's up to 33% of your army's point value, and that's 0 to 1 Lion Guard. Next, it's 0 to 1 Shadow Warriors or Sisters of Avalon per 1,000 points, 0 to 2 Great Eagles per 1,000 points, and finally 0 to 1 Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers per 1,000 points. And yes, your Chracian Chieftain may become your battle standard bearer, as you can expect. It's a pretty interesting list, obviously no cavalry here, barring the chariots, but the theme here is obviously focusing on Chrace, and I kind of like it. It's pretty different. This is what I kind of expect from the Arcane Journals, right? A lot of weird, kind of wacky things. So let's jump into the special rules. There's a fair amount of special rules, the first one being Chracian Pride. Characters in a Chrace Warhost list may only take the following Elven honors: Shadowstalker, Chracian Hunter, and Pure of Heart. But there is a note here stating that any Chracian Chieftains that you may have are considered to have the Chracian Hunter honor for the purpose of joining White Lion units. So yeah, that works out quite well. It means that you can kind of kit them up quite a little bit. Hidden Trails is the next one. 0 to 1 unit of Elven Spearmen or Elven Archers per 1,000 points may have the Move Through Cover special rule for 1 point a model. In addition, once per game, after rolling to determine if a unit with the Ambusher special rule that is currently held in reserve as reinforcements, you may apply a +1 or a -1 to the result, which is pretty damn good. That means that you've got a little bit more control there. Warriors of Chrace is the next one, which is units of Elven Spearmen or Elven Archers within a Chracian Warhost army may have Lion Cloak special rule for 10 points per unit, not per model, which Lion Cloak is pretty damn good as it stands. The final one is Warriors of the Wilderness. Once players have finished placing terrain, a Chracian Warhost player may place one additional area of difficult terrain measuring between 6 and 12 inches as its widest point. This may be placed anywhere on the battlefield that is not within their opponent's deployment zone and not within 6 inches of a special feature, not unlike most terrain features. This terrain feature can be placed within 12 inches of the center of the battlefield, unless the presence of a special feature has been done before that, which, at the end of the day, that's not too bad, and it kind of works kind of like the Wood Elf stuff. Yeah, you're going to be using a lot of cover and trees and stuff like that when it comes to being a Chracian Warhost. Think of it kind of similar to playing with Wood Elves, but without all the range and actually being fairly decent at melee combat. It could have just been my luck recently playing Wood Elves, my god, just dying in droves. Alright, so we're jumping into the Lothan Sea Guard Garrison now, and remember, this isn't the Sea Patrol, this is kind of like a smaller contingent as far as I'm understanding from here, and the roster is very small as you can tell. With characters, you've got 50% of your points value, you can get Sea Guard Garrison Commanders and Stormweavers, as many as you wish, and then 0 to 1 Dragon Mages, High Elf Nobles, or High Elf Mages per 1,000 points. So you're going to be focusing more on the Sea Guard Commanders. Now, when you go on to core, it's 33%. It's as many Lothan Sea Guard and Ship's Company as you wish. Yes, Ship Company are back. And 0 to 1 Shadow Warriors per 1,000 points. You might remember actually back in the day in 6th edition, there was a unit there which was basically just use Shadow Warriors. They're just ignoring the name now and going straight into that. Now, special is 50%, and you can use as many Lothan Skycutters as you wish, which I ironically love. I've only got one, and it's like half painted. I really need to sort out my other, the other one that I've got in a box. But yeah, I really want to do a Sea Guard Garrison list. Then it's 0 to 2 Great Eagles per 1,000 points as per usual. 0 to 3 Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers per 1,000 points. It's a small roster list. It's nothing like absolutely massive. When it comes to rare, you've got 33% of your points there. You can use as many Alarian Reavers as you wish, as many Merworms as you wish. They are fairly expensive point-wise, though, keep that in mind. And 0 to 1 of any of the Phoenixes per 1,000 points. Again, here you've got your Noble or your Sea Guard Garrison Commander being able to be your Battle Standard Bearer. Yeah, I mean, it's a 6th edition list. And that's not even a bad thing. I know that might sound bad the way I've said it, but like, I mean, it's nostalgia play, and nostalgia play is always very good here. Alright, so we do have a few rules here. Armies of the Sea Lord. Once again, your characters may only take from a certain amount of Elven Honors. Shadowstalker, Pure of Heart, and Sea Guard was expected, right? Now, from the Mist is when things start getting a little bit more interesting. After deployment, but before deploying units with the Scout Special Rule or moving units with the Vanguard Special Rule, you may immediately remove a single deployed unit belonging to your army from the battlefield and replace it anywhere within your deployment zone. So, yeah, you know, in these cases, if you want to kind of move around those Lothan Sea Guard to get a better vantage point for shooting, then you've got from the Storm Clouds. So, 0 to 1 Lothan Skycutters per 1,000 points in a Sea Guard Garrison Army of Infamy, including Skycutters taken as character mounts, may have the Ambushes special rule for 10 points per model, which, yeah, that's going to be hilarious. Old World Rangers, 0 to 1 units of Shadow Warriors with a unit strength of 10 or less in a Sea Guard Garrison Army of Infamy. I mean, you know it's for this faction, right? May have the Ambushes special rule for free, not too bad. And finally, Pride of the Fleet. Units of Sea Guard in a Sea Guard Garrison gain the Regimental Special Rule. In addition, 0 to 1 Sea Guard per 1,000 points in a Sea Guard Garrison Army may have the Drilled Special Rule for free. I mean, it's not too bad. Overall, I mean, it's going to be mobility. Mobility is here. I like the idea of Skycutters being ambushes, especially since you can put a pretty tasty character onto that and just come in from behind. I feel like you're going to be incentivized to do maybe 2,500 points with these things, or maybe a little bit further. But we do have to talk about a lot of other stuff here, because there's loads and loads of characters, well, like 2 characters, and then a few generic characters, and a bunch of units. Let's have a little fun, right? Alright, so we do have 2 named characters in this book, the first one being Corhill Lionmane, Captain of the White Lions. Yes, an old character returns, and yes, he will be using his old miniature, which I think aged quite well. It is metal. I'm not sure if it's being redone in resin or anything, but last I know it's metal. And yeah, stat-wise, movement 5, weapon skill 7, ballistic skill 5, strength 4, toughness 3, 3 wounds, initiative 6, 4 attacks, 9 leadership, 175 points. That's not too bad. You can actually mount this character, though, which is quite good. So you can put him on a Chieftain's Chariot. We'll be talking about that a little bit later. But, yeah, I'm actually quite surprised, because I don't think we've had other characters that can mount up. Well, named characters. You know, having the option to be able to choose different mounts is quite nice. Special rules-wise, he's got Elven Reflexes, Furious Charge, Mighty Constitution, Move Through Cover, Stubborn, and Valor of Ages. Overall, not too bad. He does have some unique rules also. So Mighty Constitution itself is during a turn which he made a charge of 3 inches or more, Corhill gets a +1 modifier to his strength characteristic. In addition, Corhill is immune to poison attacks, and if he is hit with an attack with a special rule, the attacker must roll to wound as normal. Next, we do have the Pelt of Charandis. So the wear of the pelt improves their armor value by 1 whilst engaged in combat, and by 2 to a maximum of 2 up against non-magical shooting attacks. In addition, he gets regeneration +5. So overall, it's pretty damn good. He does have heavy armor, so this will basically count as full plate for him. And yes, he does have a unique weapon, which is a great axe. This is one of those two-handers, but it's strength +2, so that already puts him up at strength 6 natural, -3 AP, pretty damn tasty, and killing blow. Alongside this, any to-hit rolls of 1, the natural to-hit rolls, you can re-roll them during the combat phase, which... yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've been as bad as I have been lately with rolls. It might be useful. As you can tell, I've not been having a lot of luck lately. Overall, he's a pretty good character. He does get fairly expensive on a chariot, but if you're going to be using a lot of chariots and you kind of want him mounted there just to kind of have him there as a theme list, works out quite well. I like him. I like him. I like the fact that he can be mounted. The next character is new. Her name is Ishaya Vess, Sentinel of the Silent Isle. She's a brand new character. She is available in Forge World Resin for those of you who are quite curious. And overall, I think she's quite decent if you're going to be going for that jump there in a Sea God list. So stats are movement 5, weapon skill 7, ballistic skill 7, strength 4, toughness 3, 3 wounds, initiative 7, 3 attacks, 9 points, and she is 170 points. She comes with heavy armor, she does have a shield, Maflin's Ire, and a war bow. So, let's talk about the special rules. She's got Commanding Voice, Ithilmar weapons, Naval Discipline, Rallying Cry, Strike First, Precision Strikes, Valor of Ages. So let's talk about the unique special rules. Her command range with Commanding Voice is increased by 3 inches. In other words, her command range is 12 inches rather than her typical 9. And if she is your general, she has a command range of 15 inches. It's pretty good. Then we've got a pretty good one, Precision Strikes. So a Lothan Sea God unit joined by Vess improves their armor-piercing characteristic by 1, which is pretty damn good. I like that. I honestly, I've been using a lot of them. I've been painting up a lot of Sea God. I have a lot of them, actually. And this isn't like early access stuff. It's just, I bought a bunch of Island of Blood kits purely because I played a lot of Skaven back in the day. But now I get to use the elves. So yeah, I win. Now, Maflin's Ire is her unique weapon. So it gives us an extra strength, it gives a -2 AP, Armor Bane 1, and magical attacks. Alongside that, during the combat phase, enemy models must reroll a single successful roll to hit made against the wielder of Maflin's Ire. So this could be useful if you're going to be doing challenges. Now, yeah, overall, good character. The fact that she's got a bow also is quite good, because pretty good ballistic skill. I would have liked if she would have had the same treatment as Corhill and would have been able to pick up a mount option there. It would have been nice to get her on a Skycutter. But I guess she's there to be around the Sea God on foot, which kind of makes sense. Either way, cool model. I will hopefully be pre-ordering her because, yeah, she does look kind of nice. I know some people wanted other characters like Teclis and stuff, but it's still fairly early. They made a point of saying that back then, remember, during the Chaos release where they were just saying that, oh yeah, you know, we're doing like the early lieutenants, and then, you know, there's going to be more in the future, hopefully, so yeah, give it time. Alright, now we're going to talk about the generic characters. The Chracian Chieftain does have a model, the other two do not at the moment, but it might be that we might see some characters pop up in the future, because they did start hinting that there was potentially going to be a third wave for High Elves. So, first up, Chracian Chieftains. We've seen those guys, it's the resin model. They can take additional hand weapons or a great blade, and they can be mounted on the chariot also, which isn't too bad. The stats are pretty damn good. Movement 5, weapon skill 6, ballistic skill 4, strength 4, toughness 3, wounds 3, initiative 5, 3 attacks, 9 leadership, and 105 points. The special rules are as you expect, you know, Furious Charge, Ithilmar weapons, Lying Cloak, move through cover, strike first, stubborn, and Valor of the Ages. But they're very valuable on foot, and you can put them up there with a mount too, which is a Chieftain's Chariot, which is 105 points, and it's basically just the Lion's Chariot, right? It's just that kit that you'll be able to buy soon, or you'll get to if you get the battalion box, which is going on pre-order today. I don't think there's anything really too bad about this character. They can be a little bit expensive, but they do come with quite a lot there, and I think the resin model comes with a great blade, so you can't give them additional hand weapons unless you're going to be kit bashing, and I'm not too keen on resin models being there and going, hey, you know, you can kit bash these. That's just me. Honestly, I just wish that we'd see a lot more plastic, especially when it comes to generic characters. It would just be nicer, but that's, I guess, just me. The next character is the Sea Guard Garrison Commander. Yes, that's a bit of a mouthful. Movement 5, weapon skill 6, ballistic skill 7, strength 4, toughness 3, 2 wounds, 5 initiative, 3 attacks, Leadership 9, 90 points. They start off with light armor, warbows, and hand weapons, but they can take a shield. They can change the warbow to a longbow. They can also mount up, which can be mounted on a Skycutter for 90 points, a Griffin for 130 points, or a Great Eagle for 60 points. They can take items also, and they can get heavy armor. Overall, not too bad. I mean, if you're going to be going for a Sea God list, this is definitely going to be something that you're going to be going around with. And I think a lot of people are going to be using nobles. And if you see on Twitter, I was actually working on a noble specifically for this list. Accomplished Archers is their unique rule, so unless mounted on a Lothan Skycutter, a Guard Garrison commander has the Evasive and Fire and Flee special rules. In addition, any unit of Lothan Sea Guard joined by this character gains the Evasive and Fire and Flee special rules for as long as this character remains in the unit. I really like this. You can imagine why I was going, okay, I'm going to be doing a Sea God list. I've been painting them up in Chracian colors because I like red and white, but yeah, this is my go-to. And lastly, we do have the Stormweavers, movement 5, weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4, strength 3, toughness 3, 2 wounds, initiative 4, 2 attacks, 9 leadership, and 85 points. There's not really much to talk about there. It's a spellcaster. And yeah, it's got access to Dark Magic, Elementalism, or Illusion. This is a level 1 spellcaster, but can be upgraded all the way up to level 3, and can also take a Unicorn mount, which I think is kind of nice. I'm not too sure if it's going to be a new model. I hope so, because it doesn't say like, oh, you can kit bash it from this and that. And honestly, the last Unicorn mount I think that the High Elves had was really old, so I really hope it's a new one. The Unicorn itself is 35 points, which isn't too bad. It just gives an extra wound to the character, but it gives you a lot of extra movement, because, you know, movement 10, and it's Monstrous Cavalry. It's got all the stuff that you can expect, you know, magical attack, swift stride, countercharge, all the usual, but it does have Beguiling Aura also. So enemy models must take a leadership test before making any rolls to hit against this model in the combat phase. And if you fail the leadership check, you only hit on 6s. So yeah, that's not too bad. What's very interesting here is only this character that I've been able to see from these 3 characters, the generics, are available in Grand Armies, where you can take them as character choices 1 per 1,000 points, 0 to 1. But I don't know, man. It just feels odd. Like, I would have gone for like the Chracian Hunter and stuff like that. But I guess you could use it. You could technically make that with your own, you know, the all honors list and just the build up and so on. But yeah, I don't know. It just felt kind of weird. Alright, so now we're going to talk about the units in the book. And I think here what we're going to do is anything that's a kit bash unit, the name will have a asterisk on the side just to kind of show it. There is a lot of kit bash units here, but some of them are kind of funky and fun. The first one being Ship's Company. So, standard-wise, it's movement 5, weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4, strength 3, toughness 3, 1 wound, initiative 4, attacks 1, leadership 8, and 9 points per model. Now, they come with hand weapons and bows, right? War bows. Very basic stuff. However, there's 2 different champions. So you can either go for a midshipman or a bosun. One of them being for melee combat and the other one being for range combat, which I think is kind of interesting there, right? So you get either an extra attack or an extra ballistic skill for 5 points a model at each choice. Then you can take a banner bearer and a musician as per standard. You can then start upgrading these guys. So you can change these units for replacing the warbows with thrusting spears and shields for free. You can give them light armor for 1 point per model, which is not too bad. And then per 1,000 points, 0 to 1 of these can then have the open order special rule replaced with skirmishers, and also replace Valor of Ages with veteran for 1 point per model. They're a unit that can be a detachment. They've got Elven Reflexes, Evasive, Fire and Flee, Open Order, Valor of Ages, and they are represented by Elven Archers or Spearmen painted in the colors of the Lothan Sea Guard. So kind of like bluish, like teal, bluish, white. You can get that in the book. It will tell you pretty much the design of it and stuff like that. Overall, it's not a bad unit. You can completely ignore them if you just want to use Sea Guard non-stop. I like them. I like the idea of having like these champions that you can kind of mix and match, and then you can decide what they are. And to be honest, 9 points per model, it's not too bad. Especially it's decent stats all around, high weapon skill and high ballistic skill on a basic average. The next one is the Lion Guard, so movement 5, weapon skill 6, ballistic skill 4, strength 4, toughness 3, 1 wound, 5 initiative, 1 attack, 9 leadership, 18 points per model. These are counted as heavy infantry. They've got hand weapons, Chracian great blades, and heavy armor. You can give them full command for 7 points per command person. You can give them the magical standard, and you can also get the Lion Guard captain, which is your unit commander, to have some magical items. They've got Champions of Thrace, Close Order, Elven Reflexes, Furious Charge, Lion Cloak, Stubborn, and Veteran. So, these are another kit bash unit, and it's basically here, it just says they're elite white lions. So they're represented by painting red and white on them, which, I mean, I guess all my white lions are going to be white there, are going to be Lion Guard. Well, you know, these things happen, right? So you can paint them in different colors. You can give them something just to kind of push them out a little bit. It's kind of like with the Tomb Kings with the whole Venerable Upshati. Now, they do have a unique special rule known as the Champions of Thrace, so any model in a unit of Lion Guard can accept challenges in the same manner as a character. In addition, once per turn, a character that has joined this unit of Lion Guard may re-roll their Lookout Sir roll, which isn't too bad, to be honest, and there goes my cat jumping around. I mean, it's not too bad. How much is a normal unit of Lion Guard? 14 points a model, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It depends. I know there's some people that's quite hyped for the Chracian Warhost, but I think normal White Lions kind of do as the same, barring the whole special rule stuff. Chracian Woodsmen come in, so these are movement 5, weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4, strength 4, toughness 3, 1 wound, initiative 1, attacks 1, leadership 8, and 12 points a model. These are regular infantry. They start off with hand weapons, Chracian great blades, and light armor. Again, this is another kit bash unit, which it says here, painted in dark colors, the better to move unseen through forests, and featuring components from other kits such as bow cases or bear heads. The White Lions of Thrace are ideal for representing Chracian Woodsmen. This is why I said I wasn't too keen on this one too much. I mean, the Norskin one for the Warriors of Chaos was a little bit better, because, like, you know, it gave you like a little bit more of a visual look as you were skipping and mixing and so on. This is just like, oh yeah, you know, use your White Lion kits. And yeah, use your White Lion kits again. I'm not too keen on this one, I'll be honest with you. However, it is kind of interesting because 12 points a model. You can give them war bows for 1 point per model, and you can replace their light armor with heavy armor. So it does seem here that you can actually have heavy armor war bows. It's not great, but still. It's not too bad. You can give them full command. You can give them the Lion Cloak plus 1 point per model, so this does start to make them a little bit more expensive. And 0 to 1 may replace their Vanguard special rule with either Scouts for free or Ambushers, 1 point per model. So they do have Vanguard, they've got Skirmishers also, Elven Reflexes, Move Through Cover, Valor of the Ages. I do see that some people would see some value in these types of units, mostly because of the Skirmishers, and, you know, Skirmishers with great weapons are quite strong. I still just don't like the idea of the kit bash here. I feel it could have been something else. The Sea Garrison was fine, and the other, like the Royal Guard, Lion Guard, were fine. Chracian Woodsmen, maybe mix them up a little bit with your Shadow Warrior kit, I guess. Again, not being able to play with a Chracian list, so I won't be able to tell you how great these are, but I do speak to some other creators who say, yeah, it's not too bad. So, hey, take everything that I say with a pinch of salt. I might like a unit that you might not like, or vice versa. So War Lions are a thing, which is actually kind of interesting, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, you know, this would be great in the old world once we saw it originally in Total War, and here it is, right? So, movement 8, weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 0, obviously, strength 4, toughness 4, 1 wound, which I'm not too keen on, mostly because, like, it's a big lion, it's on a 30 by 60 base. It should have 2 wounds. This is I've played around with it, and to be honest, it's just not great. And like, look, the Ogre Kingdoms, the Saber-Tooth Lions, who are on 25 by 50s, have 2 wounds, so that I think should change. Initiative 4, 2 attacks, leadership 7, 18 points a model, and you can take these on unit sizes of 2 to 6. They've got claws and fangs, as you can imagine. Special rules are pretty decent, so they've got Fear, Move Through Cover, Open Order, Swift Stride, Vanguard, and Cleaving Blow. So if a model with a special rule rolls a natural 6 when making a roll to wound for an attack in combat, it has struck a Cleaving Blow. Enemy models whose troop type is regular infantry, heavy infantry, light cavalry, heavy cavalry, or war beasts are not permitted armor save or regeneration. So yeah, that's not too bad. You can still actually do ward saves though, so that's not too bad too if you're using a lot of Savage Orcs. That's how I was testing it out. So, These are, you buy the kit because you know that the battalion box has 2 chariots, which can either be Tyrannok chariots or can be lion chariots. So if you're doing some Tyrannok chariots, you'll be able to do that. Also, that kit will be split up, I guess, in the second wave. So you can just buy chariots, get yourself some Tyrannoks, and also get some white lions. I would have preferred if they would have gone, hey, you know, we've done a special kit where you can buy some lions by itself too. Not a new model, the exact same model, but I feel like it's kind of ham-fisting you to buy chariots, but you'd also want the lion chariots for your Chracian host. You get what I mean here? It's a little bit annoying. I mean, I've got a few lions myself, because I bought a few, like, eBay rescues. I honestly didn't know that the lions were coming in until recently when I got early access. I just kind of wanted some lions because I was like, hey, you know, they're cool. And I was going to use them with my Ogre Kingdoms, funny enough. But now they can be used for my High Elves. And these units are also available in the Grand Army. And stated here as follows: any army made of the High Elf Realms Grand Army composition list that includes 1 or more units of White Lions of Thrace may include 0 to 1 units of War Lions as a rare choice. Not too bad, to be honest. If you're wanting to use Grand Army a lot, I know a lot of people who've been using a lot more Grand Armies. Hell, there's a few people who've made better null lists than the one in the Arcane Journal. So this is not too bad. You can use them there. It's only 1, but it's still better than nothing, and you can bring a squad of 6. I would have given these guys skirmishers too. Just feels like the lions would kind of move around a little bit better. But I guess they didn't want to overpower it, but even then, 1 wound, kind of bad. And the last unit is a unique unit. It's the returning Merworms from the Storm of Magic days. So movement 6, weapon skill 6, strength 6, toughness 6, 6 wounds, there's a theme here, initiative 3, 4 attacks, leadership 8, and 225 points a model. This is a behemoth, which is on a 60 by 100 base. Unit size is obviously 1. It's got Abyssal Cloak, Close Order, Enfeebling Cold, Impact hits D3, Large Target, Stomp attacks D3 plus 1, and Terror. And it's got a lot to go for it, right? So let's talk about the Abyssal Cloak first. This is any enemy model that targets this model during the shooting phase suffers a -2 to hit at firing at long range rather than -1. Man, not too bad. Enfeebling Cold is when things get a little bit better, though. Whilst in base contact with this model, enemy models suffer a -1 to their strength characteristic to a minimum of 1, which is pretty damn tasty if you're going to be dealing with some big hordes. I've been seeing a lot of people doing it with Beastmen recently. It's kind of weird. And yeah, we do have some attacking stuff, obviously. So, you know, Lashing Talons is your generic attack, which is -1 AP, Armor Bane 1. Serpentine Tail, however, this one is one of your attacks can be turned into this, which is a Strike Last, but +2 strength and -2 AP, in case you might need strength 8 for some reason, I guess. Well, I mean, there's some cases that you would against dragons and so on, but in most cases, like strength 6, you're going to be wounding a lot of stuff on 2s. You do also have a breath weapon, which is Briny Breath, and this is strength 2, -2 AP, and enemy units that suffer 1 or more unsaved from this breath weapon, you know, they suffer a -1 to their initiative until the start of your next turn of subphase, start of turn subphase. So that's pretty good. That's actually pretty damn good. This can also be included as your Grand Army, by the way. As long as you have 1 or more units of Lothan Sea Guard, they can be taken as 0/1 Merworms as a rare choice. So you can take 2, I guess, with the Sea Guard Garrison, but you can have 1 with your Grand Army, which isn't too bad whatsoever. Alright, so what's left is the items and so on. I'm not going to go through them because I don't like to go through the whole book. Obviously, I've been given the book early access, but it just feels a bit scummy to just basically tell you everything. It defeats the purpose of buying a book yourself, especially if you're going to be running the Wood Elves. I will say, however, that, yeah, there's a lot of fun items, a lot of magical standards. No Ban of the Wild Dragon, don't worry about that, people. If you play against High Elves, you're not going to be dealing with that. But there is some cool stuff, like, for example, the Bow of the Seafarer is 50 points. This one I do want to talk about. 30 range, strength 5, -3 AP. It does D3 wounds, and it does through and through. So it actually works as a bolt thrower, if you remember those from back in the day. So you can essentially make a Lithanar. I know some people are missing him as a character, and honestly, I'm kind of missing him too. I was expecting something like that. Every now and then we do get a book with like 3 characters. It's a shame that they sometimes go with 2. Personally, I would love just to see more characters pop up because I feel like that's quite important. People like theming around characters that they love. I really do like the book. My only issue is it's a lot of use the white lion unit, use the white lion unit, use the white lion unit. I would like if we started getting some more unique units in the Arcane Journals. I don't think it's going to happen in this round. You know, we still have the Beastmen, which are going to be next, and then the Wood Elves after that. But in future ones, it would be just nice to get, you know, a new unit, a new model, an actual regimental unit, rather than just nothing, right? I mean, we had one unit here, technically two. I mean, the characters, I guess, count. But yeah, the Moam is back, and that's big news. I'm really happy about that. It's nice to see some nostalgia play here, I guess. I think that's what we can call it. And I think that the nostalgia play is really, really important. Here's hoping, you know, we get a Dark Elf book in the future with the whole Morathi thing. But, yeah, I mean, pretty interesting all around. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let's start a bit of a discussion. I will be posting up my reviz later on. I usually wait a few hours after a video goes live just in case, so, you know, it doesn't hurt the channel and stuff like that. I'm not really sure how the community tab works, to be honest. But yeah, I'll see you guys very, very soon. I am going to go back to painting some Sea Guard and bolt throwers and stuff. I have a lot of stuff that I've just not painted. I've been caught by surprise for the High Elves, I'll be very honest with you. I wasn't expecting them that close. But yeah, see you guys. Have a great one.